In one of the most obvious and predictable examples of bureaucratic demons ruining everything under the guise of protecting you, one can look no further than Spirit Airlines. You know, Spirit Airlines, the yellow public school bus of the sky where you're more likely to end up a spirit than to land at your destination on time. And look, I insult Spirit Airlines all the time, but it is a low-cost carrier that enables a lot of people to fly that otherwise might not be able to. And thus, much like a Toyota Yaris, you may not want to drive it, but some people have to. So let me weave you a tale. Several years ago, JetBlue and Spirit were discussing a major merger, which would create the fourth largest domestic airline carrier. This merger between these two companies would have allowed them to compete with the four major US carriers: American, Delta, United, and Southwest. Mergers are natural in any large business or corporate landscape. And in the case of something like airlines, you have four major dominant players that eat up most of the business, and then a lot of other smaller ones. So when they merge together, it allows them to compete. Other benefits of this merger would have included an expanded network and route offerings. And JetBlue, which is known for great service and great in-flight experience versus Spirit not, would have resulted in more expanded routes between the two merged airlines, as well as likely better experience on board and better prices, as you would be combining the fleets as well as combining the employees and reducing overhead costs and other things. And well, what do you know? In January 2024, the merger was blocked with encouragement by the likes of Elizabeth Warren, suggesting that this posed an antitrust risk, and it would cause prices to go up, not down. Because yeah, creating a major carrier that can compete with the four major players that have held court for years, that would be bad. This, of course, getting cheers from the likes of Pocahontas, who argued against this merger for months. This was in March 2024.
We were right to stand up for consumers and fight against consolidation.
Well, what do you know? In November of 2024, 9 months later, Spirit Airlines filed for bankruptcy. Because, you know, the best way to stop prices from going up is to completely eliminate an airline so that only the other players are there and they can just raise the prices. Good job, Liz. Shortly thereafter, economic sage Roberto Sasalito made this video called How the Government Hurts You by Protecting You, where I explained how a lot of these major carriers lobbied Congress to break up this potential merger and that they would soon go bankrupt and start firing people. In this video, I explained exactly how and why this would happen. You should go and watch it. You can search that title on my YouTube channel. In that video, I also mentioned how this would punish all of the stockholders, independent American citizens, as well as retirement savings holders and whatever that were invested in Spirit stock. And here it is, going down 77% this year, liquidating all of that cash. A lot of American pension funds perhaps hold some Spirit Airlines stock, so a lot of them just lost a good chunk of their retirement savings. I mentioned in that video how that would happen as well. 6 months later, this happened. Spirit Airlines furloughed 270 pilots and demoted more than 100 others and started cutting flights, also predicted in the video. And then yesterday, here in People magazine, August 12th, Spirit may not survive in the next 12 months. It will go out of business completely. And for the grand finale, this was posted yesterday on Business Insider. Spirit Airlines could make your flight with a competitor more expensive. Wow, who could have predicted it? I did. Not that smart. Anybody could have done it. But I did. Watch the video. And the saddest part of all is that all of this could have been avoided, resulting in more flights, cheaper flights, and better service for people that used JetBlue or Spirit. All of those pilots and other employees would have retained their jobs. More competition, more flights, and more destinations would have meant cheaper prices and higher quality service for people who travel by air. It would have also forced the other major players to lower their prices in order to compete. This is how free market capitalism benefits consumers. But if not for the dusty, crusty, mothball, librarian demon types like Elizabeth Warren, this could have been avoided. Here's the very simple cliff notes of how this goes down. The major carriers, the four major carriers, well, they lobby Congress to eliminate all of their competition, suggesting that this merger would result in an unfair antitrust case. They pay a whole lot of money to lobby people like Elizabeth Warren to prevent their competitors from bidding stronger and jeopardizing their ability to charge the most amount of money and make money forever at the top of the heap. Elizabeth Warren accepts that money and then goes out and says, well, this merger would result in bad things for the consumers. I'm the savior. I'm going to come in and block it and save them. She sells that fake empathy to the end user, to the taxpayer, in the form of saying, look, I'm protecting you from the big guy. Meanwhile, she's getting paid by the big guys. The merger gets blocked, she gets to clap and cheer. JetBlue and Spirit suffer, wasted a ton of time, a ton of money. Spirit ultimately has to basically shut down eventually. And the 4 big major players hold court at the top of the heap forever. Watch my video, I explain it all in detail. This is precisely how the bloated bureaucracy intervenes in free market capitalism and free market forces, and the end user, the taxpayer, the consumer, is always the one who loses. If this crusty, musty, dusty librarian demon would have just not meddled in this, and the bureaucracy would have not meddled in it and let free market forces do their thing, we all would have benefited. But instead, Different Color Petticoat is gonna shriek on social media about how she just protected you. Only for some college dropout cheese wheel who says things like dusty, musty librarian type demon is just yelling it into his phone, and here it is 2 years later playing out exactly as predicted. Great job, serpents! Literally remain clueless.